Hey guys, we are here at the Young Republicans National Convention in Dallas, Texas. I'm honored to be sitting next to Ambassador Kelly Craft. She served in many administrations, but also at the UN most recently, 2020 to 2021.
Right, as the, first of all, in Canada. As the first female ambassador to Canada under President Trump, where we negotiated, which I know you understand the importance with the energy for USMCA, largest trade deal in America, and then as the U.S. UN ambassador after Nikki Haley resigned from the UN.
So that would have been about 2020.
2017 to 2019 in Canada, 2019 to 2021 at the United Nations.
United Nations.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of questions about Brussels and all that stuff. But let's first talk about energy. You mentioned energy. In your experience, and you and your family have done a lot for energy innovation and bringing a lot of those jobs here and developing energy assets throughout, Tennessee Valley, Kentucky, all of these different states. What do you think about the role that energy plays in human flourishing throughout history, but particularly in this time in the United States?
Well, I think it's important to realize that our country was industrialized because we had low-cost energy, and specifically with the fossil fuels, with the coal, with mining industry. So if being a Kentuckian and really caring about our ratepayers, so you want to think about, especially now, pocketbook issues, the economy. What is going to allow Kentuckians or any state more money to be able to have discretionary income? You're going to have to keep your utility rates down. You're going to have to make certain that your lights come on, that in the winter months that you've got your heating, summer months, we've seen this blackouts, we've seen situations, especially in Kentucky in the winter with this ice storm, that people felt the effects of this green movement. I think traveling the world as U.S. UN ambassador, you look at the continent of Africa. It has everything to do with their daily survival. And when you speak about energy, why are we punishing Africa with all of these climate change regulations, with the Paris Climate Agreement? Why are we punishing them and not allowing just simple daily clean water, electricity, connectivity to the world?
Right.
I mean, you cannot expect those countries who are mineral rich to be beholden to China, who's making vast monies off of these countries mining.
And being one of the biggest carbon emitters in the world, the biggest now.
They are the largest. I mean, they have created more coal. They are actually producing more coal mines than anywhere in the world. They and India, right? And then what we have, maybe we should look at Japan and just see how they are now using ammonia in their coal-fired power plants in order to reduce their emissions almost to zero. So I think, as a Kentuckian, as, the Craft family being in the energy industry, I mean, we are diversified. But I think, we need to look at areas where can Americans invest, where can we have our investments to prosper Americans, but to also help build the economy in third world emerging countries.
Right. Yeah, it's almost a little hypocritical that we would say you can't develop, your energy infrastructure has to remain suppressed when over the last several decades, and you mentioned this at the top of the interview, it's what has led us to such great prosperity.
Absolutely. And I mean, especially just from my travels. And let's just take, for example, if you look at Afghanistan, when we had the pullout, when Biden did this sudden pullout, the Chinese were the first on the ground there to mine these rare earth minerals.
Oh, wow.
If you look how during the invasion of Russia, Ukraine, how are people punished? How were people punished? Because they chose woke over warmth. Germany struggled with that. They had to have the Qataris to supply their natural gas.
Right.
So energy is vital to every country's flourishing. I mean, it's everything from your daily activities to your longevity, to building up a supply.
Absolutely.
And it's very troublesome. And you could see that with Russia invading Ukraine. You can now see that with countries that have always depended upon Russia. We need to start producing our own. I mean, going in as as the ambassador to Canada and fighting for the Keystone Pipeline. I mean, you're in Calgary, you're at the Western Canada, who is very much like Texas, by the way.
Yeah.
And they don't understand. I mean, here we are in the United States, we're mineral rich as they are in Western Canada, and yet we are punishing ourselves.
Right. Doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not. And to think that, Alaska, if you look at the pipeline, you look at the Keystone Pipeline, you look at the mining rights, let's take permitting. State of Texas. How long does it take to get permitting for oil and gas?
Too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that it all affects our daily lives.
Yeah.
And, I'm very obviously partial. I mean, I believe in all of our energy sources.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we look state by state. What works in California may not work in Kentucky.
Sure.
But we shouldn't punish countries that are just emerging from the same start that we have because of our fossil fuel industry, for them to become less dependent upon our foreign aid.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Ambassador, I know you have to run. You've got
It's been a great
other
day.
engagements that you have to get to, but we appreciate you sitting down
My pleasure.
with us and our audience for a few
My
minutes. Guys, Ambassador Kelly Craft, thanks for being with us.
Thanks. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you very much.